Let's see that. My mic is on now. Yes, I joined. Hello and welcome for people who are joining us or who watch later. Yes. Okay, hold on just a second. We'll get you signed in there, Dennis. Okay. All right. About right there will work. It doesn't matter how much I'm in the screen, but more that they hear you. Okay. So everybody out in virtual land, we've already in this class completed our couple of assignments. We did the quick write that was in NoRedInk, and we completed the crash course video that was in Nearpod. Now we're picking up with the Ithaca poem, and we're about to start reading it. As we're reading, we are highlighting. For the first time we're going through, you're highlighting words you do not know, right? Okay, right. So, when you set out on your journey to Ithaca, pray that the road is long, full of adventure, full of knowledge. The Laestrygonians and the Cyclops, the angry Poseidon, do not fear them. Again, I figure most people do not know what this was, and you're to highlight to look it up. You will never find such as these on your path if your thoughts remain lofty. If a fine emotion like that touches your spirit and body, the Laestrygonians and the Cyclops, the fierce Poseidon, you will never encounter if you do not carry them within your soul, if your soul does not set them up before you. Pray that the road is long, that the summer mornings are many, when, with such pleasure, with such joy, you will enter ports seen for the first time. Stop at Phoenician markets and purchase fine merchandise, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, and sensual perfumes of all kinds, as many sensual perfumes as you can. Visit many Egyptian cities to learn from scholars. Always keep Ithaca in your mind. To arrive there is your ultimate goal. But do not hurry the voyage at all. It is better to let it last for many years and to anchor at the island when you are old. Rich with all you have gained on the way, not expecting that Ithaca will offer you riches. Ithaca has given you the beautiful voyage. Without her, you would have never set out on the road. She has nothing more to give you. And if you find her poor, Ithaca has not deceived you. Wise as you have become, with so much experience, you must already have understood what Ithaca means. Okay, so you're to highlight words you didn't know and look them up. So go over here. So, right. I had highlighted this one. Put it in yellow is what I did. All right, copy it. Run right up here. I put it into Google. Right, I can click. Whoops, I hit it wrong. See, come on. What are you doing? Let's see. You are copied. Do it again. Here's one. Copy. Google. Paste. Definition, not Ulysses. There we go. The Laestrygonians were a tribe of man-eating giants from ancient Greek mythology. They were said to have sprung from the Laestrygon or the son of Poseidon. So I would go and highlight, right? Here. Copy. So go back to my bomb, click out beside it, and paste it. That's what I want you to do, okay?
That's what they were.
So if you don't know what Cyclops is, right? Copy. There.
Here, and
Enter.
let me know what
Member of a race, a savage, one-eyed giant from the Odyssey, right?
Cyclops. So you know what a Cyclops is?
So if you know it, you don't have to do this. But if you don't know it, right, then you add it. That's all you're doing.
Also highlight.
Okay? You know who Poseidon is. You know what this word is, lofty.
Place right here.
What a port is. Phoenician, markets. Do you know what mother of pearl, amber, ebony is? Okay. Remember, Ithaca is an island. If you think that if you need to, do you know the word voyage? What does it mean to anchor?
That's what we want. Just so clever, you don't know.
You don't know to see. Experience, wise, right? Any of those words if you don't know. Put them up and write them out to the side so that we can read the poem to understand it. Sometimes when we do this, there'll be lots of words you don't know, and sometimes when we do it, there may be only a couple, okay? There's no set amount because it's individual to each of you. So just go through and see if you see any. Okay. I like mine. I did, but I didn't do it. Okay. Always take a minute, and when you're reading something, if you can't tell what something means by the rest of the sentences or the paragraph, look it up. You have been blessed to be born at a time when you have something called Google. You can search definitions and meanings, right? You don't have to take a book and go look it up somewhere. You can type it in on your phone. You can do this. Okay, so let's go back through. So, I'm sure none of you knew what this was till you got here and looked it up, right? Lacedemonians, so a tribe of man-eating giants. You may or may not have remembered the Cyclops from what we just watched. So they're savage, one-eyed giants, okay? Anybody look up Poseidon? Or did you remember Poseidon? Poseidon, right? Greek god of the oceans, okay? Anybody look this word up? Lofty? What did it mean? Imposing height, right? Okay? So if your thoughts remain lofty, imposing height, up above, looking up, positive, good thoughts, if your thoughts remain high. Okay? Good. What's another word somebody looked up? Raise your hand. Starts with a B. P. So not here on this first page. Where do I go? Keep going. Okay. Was it this one? Phoenician. Yeah. What did you find? Okay. So Phoenician. Yes, the Phoenicians they were a group of people, and they made an alphabet that actually our alphabet was based off of. Yes. So they were an early Greek people, some Phoenician markets. So understand then how old we're talking about that he could go to visit them, right? Yes, sir.
Sensual.
Sensual?
Yeah.
This one down here that they use a couple of times? Yeah. Okay, what did you find that it means?
Relating to or involving gratification of senses of physical.
Got you. So you can see if you look at the word senses, like, right? When we think eyes, ears, nose, mouth, senses, S-E-N-S, it's just instead of senses, it's sensual. Yes. And it's that feeling of pleasure that comes from arousing those, like it's beautiful to look at or to feel or to smell. And in this case, since it's talking about perfumes, I imagine it's talking smell, right? You know, okay? Anything else? Somebody else look up a word. Did anyone look these up? Any of these? Mother of pearl, coral, amber, ebony? Those would have been different. They were used, they're stones like rubies and sapphires and diamonds, particularly, okay? And they were used for decoration and they were used to trade them like you would gold or silver. All right. Anyone else going all the way down? Any other words that you looked up before I go further?
Lisa, you got one? Or instructing? Jaden, pick yours. Sensual.
Okay. All right. Now that we know what those words mean, we're going to read it a second time. You got one more? Where? Down at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so go back down to the bottom. Where?
Deceit.
See?
Deceive. Yes, right here. If you find her poor, Ithaca has not deceived you. What did deceive mean?
To believe something that is not true, typically in order to persuade them.
Yes. So Ithaca has not, so this case is saying has not tricked you like that, right? Deceived, tricked you in some way, right? For an advantage. And it's saying that actually the island hasn't deceived you. Okay? But you might think it is. Let's think about that for a second. Why would getting home feel like you've been tricked? Have you ever been looking forward to something so much? I can't wait till this happens. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And then when it gets there, it's not as great as you thought it would be. You ever experienced that before? Yeah, okay. So here, right, it's kind of saying that he's been waiting and wanting to get back home to his island so long, but then don't be surprised, right? It is not as great as you thought it would be to get home. Okay? All right. Now, just thought I'd, since we already brought that up, let's read this through. Now highlight in a different color, okay? Something that helps you see it, okay? So, you know, I'm just glancing. First off, I know I'm going to be like on a journey. So I might highlight that because in my brain, I'm starting to picture a journey. I'm going to pick a different color. Okay? You can pick any color. You don't have to use my color. Just do it. Okay? That's what you're kind of doing. Something that helps you see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, whatever. Anything that helps just give you kind of an image. Okay? Any image. So when you set out on your journey to Ithaca, pray that the road is long, full of adventure, full of knowledge. The Lestrygonians are the man-eating giants, and the Cyclops, the savage one-eyed giants, and the angry Poseidon, god of the ocean, do not fear them. You will never find such as these on your path if, it's an if, your thoughts remain lofty, if a fine emotion touches your spirit and your body. The Lestrygonians and the Cyclops, the fierce Poseidon, you will never encounter if you do not carry them within your soul, if your soul does not set them up before you. Pray that the road is long, that the summer mornings are many, when, with such pleasure, with such joy, you will enter ports, right? That's like you're sailing into a port, bringing your ship in, seen for the first time. Stop at Phoenician markets and purchase fine merchandise, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, and sensual perfumes of all kinds. as many central perfumes as you can. Visit many Egyptian cities to learn and learn from scholars. Always keep Ithaca in your mind. To arrive there is your ultimate goal, but do not hurry the voyage at all. It is better to let it last for many years and to anchor at the island when you are old, rich with all you have gained on the way, not expecting that Ithaca will offer you riches. Ithaca has given you the beautiful voyage. Without her, you would never have set out on the road. She has nothing more to give you. And if you find her poor, Ithaca has not deceived you. Wise as you have become with so much experience, you must already have understood what Ithaca means. Okay? So highlight anything that helps you see the poem. And then we're going to talk briefly, and then you've got some questions to answer. Okay? So it says when you set out on your journey to Ithaca, first off, notice when you head home, this is Odysseus, right? When you head home, okay? It says, pray the road is long, full of adventure, full of knowledge. Okay? Odysseus has been gone 10 years to war already, and then he tries to get home, and it takes another 10 years. 20 years total. That's what the Iliad and the Odyssey is about. Okay? All right. We're going to run into some of these people. The Laestrygonians, the Cyclops, and the angry Poseidon. It says, do not fear them. You won't find them on your path if. Okay? If your thoughts remain lofty, if a fine emotion touches your spirit and your body, the Laestrygonians and the Cyclops, the fierce Poseidon, you will never encounter if you do not carry them within your soul, if your soul does not set them up before you. Okay? So in this thing, right, his soul, that's where our emotions come out of. If you don't let yourself get tricked, if you don't let your emotions get away with you, right, use your intelligence, then you should be able to survive these things. Otherwise, they set up before you to become a stumbling block. Again, pray the road is long. You think they're indicating that the journey is really worth it? Yeah, could be, right? Pray the road is long. That there are many of these summer mornings, that the summer mornings are many, when with such pleasure, with such joy, you will enter ports seen for the first time. You're going to see things people have never seen before. Stop at Phoenician markets and purchase fine merchandise, things that you don't have at home, right? Mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, essential perfumes of all kinds, as many central perfumes as you can. Visit many Egyptian cities and learn from scholars. But always keep Ithaca, keep home in your mind. To arrive there is your ultimate goal, but do not hurry the voyage at all. Again, slow down, enjoy where you're at. It is better to let it last for many years and to anchor at the island when you are old, rich with all you have gained on the way, not expecting that Ithaca will offer you riches. Understanding that you're learning as you go. Ithaca is giving you the beautiful voyage. He had to go to war to protect in part Ithaca. Okay? He was required to take an army and go fight. So keep in mind, he's a soldier. Okay? Without her, you would have never set out on this road. She has nothing more to give you. And if you find her poor, Ithaca has not deceived you. Wise as you have become with so much experience, you must have already understood what Ithaca means. Again, that getting home, sometimes when you look forward to something, can be a bit disappointing. Also, when he gets home, he finds out that he's got a lot of men who are trying to kill his son and marry off his wife, because they're eating all his food and drinking all of his wine. That costs a lot of money, and they've been there for years. Not necessarily the homecoming he probably first thought it would be when he arrived home, right? Okay, real quick, you have some questions to answer. Number one, why does the poet repeat the phrase, pray that the road is long? What does he mean? Two, what does it mean to come home, right? And three, how does the poet's advice apply to life? 3 questions. Answer quickly. And be sure to hit turn in when you are done, okay? So why does the poet repeat the phrase, pray that the road is long? What does he mean? Bottom of the page.
You have to answer it. What do you think? You can write it in Spanish. Once you do that, you're going to hit turn. There's 3 questions in Spanish. Español is okay.
When you're finished with this, we're going to be doing another poem for a few minutes. It's not quite as long as this one, called The Invocation to the Muse. It's actually straight out of the Odyssey. And so if you want to open that and be skimming over that, you will also be highlighting words you don't know. So if you would like to work on that for just a minute, you can start just by looking at it, right? You don't see these words you don't know. You gotta turn in, click turn in. Share means you have to type in like my email. So we usually use that one if you and a couple of students in class are going to work together and I'll share it. So we have an assignment next. I'm not going there, I know you're typing, but just seeing that we have the muse and then we have epic similes and epithets. Remember that similes, right, are comparisons. Remember similes, right? So keep in mind though that when we see the word epic in front of it, epic means long. Epic poem, long. Epic simile, long. Okay? Whenever in literature we use the word epic, it just means it's very long, okay, in order to tell it ultimately. Okay? So we are reading the Odyssey. It's an epic poem. The epic poem is made long because it has many epic similes, where they take a couple of lines, 3, 4, 5 lines of poetry to describe them. Okay? We're going to see that in the next two things. Another thing that they do a lot of is something called an epithet. Okay? An epithet is where you have titles to yourself, okay? Titles that is not just your name. So let me give you an example real quick. It's actually in this here. Take a second. You know what I have to do is start it, and then it wants to spin. I gotta turn off my volume. Hang on, stop. We have to turn off a volume to turn on a volume. So I show you that because just like how they had for her these different titles, you know, she's ruler of this and mother of this, and right, okay? There was a rhythm and they had all these things that they could say about her. In the same way, they do that also in the Odyssey. And they often have these phrases, you know, okay, the wanderer. Wanderer means, right, to keep going like on a long journey, to wander, to look for something. That would apply to Odysseus, right? So that's one of the things that we see in the poetry. And one of your assignments is going to be to create your own little epithet like that we just saw. But first, let's look at the muse, because this will show you a little bit of what I'm talking about with the Odyssey. So the muse is the, okay, so open. If your screen is black, you need to go up here to open with. Go to Google Docs. It is in Google Docs, but it will not let me put it in here without it doing this first. So Google Docs. And now you'll be able to type in it, okay, without having to do the PDF reader. It'll take a second. Open, and now you have it where you can type it, okay? Finish loading, there we go. Okay. So the invocation to the muse, about that long, okay? It's just the opening lines of poetry. It's the very beginning, okay? And in this is where the storyteller asks the gods, the muses, to help him or her tell the story well. And then he tells you the story he's going to. And this gives you an idea of how the poetry goes, okay? So I'm going to read it through. Follow along. See something you don't know, highlight it, okay? Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story of that man skilled in all ways of contending. The wanderer, harried for years on end, after he plundered the stronghold on the proud height of Troy. He saw the townlands, and he learned the minds of many distant men, and weathered many bitter nights and days in his deep heart at sea, while he fought only to save his life, to bring his shipmates home. But not by will nor valor could he save them, for their own recklessness destroyed them all. Children and fools, they killed and feasted on the cattle of Lord Helios, the sun, and he moves all day through heaven, took from their eyes the dawn of their return. Of these adventures, muse, daughter of Zeus, tell us in our time, lift the great song again. Okay? So highlight any words you didn't know. One people often is going, I kind of know contend, but what do they mean there, right? Oh, color, okay? You know what a wanderer is. Do you know what harried is? What does it mean to plunder? Oh, you might highlight some words, right? Now you might go, I know that word, I don't understand how they're using it. Or maybe you think about it, like on the proud height of Troy. We know height is how tall you are, right? Okay. Troy was built up on a mountain, and it was a fortified city with a gigantic wall around it that was so huge you couldn't reach it. So that's what it's saying there, okay? All right. Go through. What do you see? New words. And then look them up, okay? And the Enter. Contend. Struggle to surmount with difficulty or danger. Okay? Lean. So then I go back and I look at my form. And always contending, struggling to overcome danger. Okay. That in there, out beside it. Struggle. All right. Okay, so that's one word. What's the word you're looking up? Yes, sir.
Harry.
Harry, what did you find? Have you found it yet? Okay. Yes, sir. Valor, what did you look it up already? What did it mean? Great courage in the face of danger. So if we go look at that word, not by will, nor great courage, could he save them? He couldn't save his army. You're looking at Harry, right? Right up here. Harry for years on end. What does that mean?
As a result of that, is persistently made on one.
Persistent demand made. So persistent demand for years on end, the stress that comes from that, right? Okay. Any other words you looked up? Yes, ma'am, Ashley. Wanderer, what did you find? Okay, so a traveler would be a word we could use, right? A traveler. The traveler, stressed out by all of these demands from years on end, right? Yes, sir. Plundered, what was that? After he stole goods by force from the stronghold of Troy, the city of Troy, right? So it does help to put in some of these words and think about it, right? Okay. All right. So, sing and me muse and tell me the story of that man skilled and always contending the struggle. I'll tell you another way to think of contending. Any of you like boxing? Boxing or wrestling? Okay. So we usually think of somebody as a boxer or wrestling if they stand a chance at winning the championship. What do we call them? A contestant. There's another word. Contender, right? It's the same thing. Contender. They're a contender. They have a chance to win, right? And so in this, they're also, because they're saying contending, the struggle, they're also implying he knows all ways of fighting from that time period. He's comfortable in all ways of fighting. Bow and arrow, spear, actual fighting, okay? All right, good. Okay, second color. I want you to highlight anything that helps you do a picture. Like I see C. So that helps me go, oh, C. I'm going to push everything. Right? We saw towns. That helps me kind of say, okay, so we're traveling seas and towns. I see shipmates. That's making me think, okay, definitely we are not only on the sea, we are on a boat, right? Not just near the sea, we're on it. There's some others. Okay. This, killed and feasted on cattle. So I'm picturing some type of barbecue. Right? That's a nice way to put it. Okay? Right? Some things that help me paint a picture of what's happening. Now, for your third thing, I want you to do, I don't think I said it at the top. So, okay. See this? Read this poem one more time and answer this question. It's foreshadowing. We are told what will happen to them as he did men. What happens to them and why? So go back through this as I read, listen, figure out what happens to them and why. Sing it in use, and through me tell the story of that man's skill in all ways of contending. The wanderer, hurrying for years on end after he plundered the stronghold on the proud height of Troy. He saw the talents and learned the minds of many distant men, and weathered many bitter nights and days in his deep heart at sea, while he fought only to save his wife, to bring his shipmates home. But not by will nor valor could he save them, for their own recklessness destroyed them all. Children and fools, they killed and feasted on the cattle of Lord Helios, the sun. And he, who moves all day through heaven, took from their eyes the dawn of their return. Of these adventures, Muse, daughter of Zeus, tell us in our time. Let the great song begin. Foreshadowing, we've been told what's going to happen. What's going to happen to the men? They got destroyed. It tells us they got destroyed. Right there, right? It tells us that they got destroyed. Okay? They got destroyed because what did they do? They killed the cows of Lord Helios. Those cows were immortal. They cut their throats, skinned them, put them on a stick, and started roasting the whole cow, and the cows are still mooing because they cannot die. They were eaten literally alive by the snake. So the god of the sun decided he was going to punish them. Notice the phraseology. The sun, he who moves all day through heaven. Good description, the sun, right? Okay. And what did he do? He took from their eyes, they're not going to see, right? He took from their eyes, they're not going to see the dawn, the morning of their return. The dawn of their return is the day they should have gone home, right? And he took that from them so they'll never see that day because he killed them. Right? Fancy way for saying he killed them. But it's poetry and it's giving you an image, right? Okay, so that's some of that epic simile, epic, right? Epithets. Because we can see that the Lord Helios is called the sun, or he who moves through heaven, right? We can go up here, and Odysseus is the man skilled in always contending. Odysseus is the wanderer, right? He is he who plundered the stronghold of the proud height of Troy. Those are all titles that can be given to Odysseus instead of just saying his name. When you're finished with that, go back here. There we go. Okay. And you're probably not going to quite have time before the bell rings, but this is your last thing to do in class. So I showed you, right, the video from Game of Thrones. Go to the epithets, this whole Jamboard. So there's one for me, an epithet. It's Kay Hall, that's my name. Daughter of the family Davis, mother in the house of Hall, keeper of knowledge and lover of books, teacher of many, friend to fowl and feline, birds and cats. Okay? Yours doesn't have to be this long, but you need at least 4 lines. I want you to create one about yourself. Things are used. So, if you play a sport, you can use sports. If there's something that's your favorite theme, right? Keeper of the goal for a goalie, right? Okay? So, kicker of the ball of whatever, if somebody was a kicker in football or soccer, you could give it a name. So you can be the son or daughter of from a household. My last name was Davis before I got married. Now that I've had kids, I'm mother in the house of Hall, right? You might be a cook. You might do art, whatever you want to do, okay? 4 lines about yourself that'll go here, all right? All right. Then you can go with this way. Put it. Okay, so you still have to do